The more dramatic issues and situations we've been covering has been coming out of Terrebone Parish this morning.
That's right, and that's where Megan Key joins us live. We've been told some conflicting reports, Megan. We know there's 12 people that had to be rescued off an island. Now, are the choppers that we're seeing behind you, is that the rescue efforts for that, or is it a different rescue?
We believe this is the rescue efforts from that. These are both Coast Guard choppers you see behind us. We know that the Coast Guard, they are the organization that were rescuing the people from Ile de Jean Charles Island, and that they were rescuing them in 2 different shifts, taking a group of people first and then another group. So this is the second chopper that just got here about a minute ago. So we believe, since we spoke with the emergency preparedness director here in Terrebone Parish, and he said that everybody had been rescued, this is what it looks like. It appears that everyone has been rescued because there are 2 choppers here from the Coast Guard. They did just both get in. We were told that all 12 of those people were stranded on Ile de Jean Charles Island, and that 4 of those people were elderly. Now, they just arrived here at the Houma airport because from here they'll be taking them to the Houma Municipal Auditorium where they'll have shelter. That's the evacuation zone where they'll have shelter. But the reason why they had to be rescued in the first place is because Island Road, that's the only road that takes you to Ile de Jean Charles Island, that road was impassable because of all the water. The water was starting to overtake the road. I do want to mention that they're not protected by any levee except a drainage levee that doesn't get that high. We're told those levees are around 6 to 10 feet high, and that the Morganza levee, the main levee, is only 13 feet, but they're not protected by that. But it looks like right now, it looks like some people are coming off of the chopper right now, as you can see. We're going to try to zoom in a little bit to that and see, get a better picture. But it looks like they're walking them over to the van, so that looks like some of the people that were just rescued from Ile de Jean Charles Island. There was a voluntary evacuation yesterday, but they stayed on the island. We do know that that island is pretty remote, but that some people live there. They've been living there for years, so it's very possible that they thought they could ride out the storm, and then once things started getting really bad, had to call out for help. But I do want to mention that this sometimes does put the first responders at risk when they go to rescue people in these dangerous conditions. For instance, earlier today, they couldn't even get to them by air because there were so many bad wind gusts, but they were able to rescue them, as you can see, and it did look like some of those people that were rescued did just load up on a van. We're told that there's 12 people in total. So far, I believe I've only seen about 6 people getting off of both of the helicopters, but some may have gotten off a little earlier before we were able to catch video of them getting off the helicopter. We were actually closer to the airport and had to drive around once we saw the helicopter moving in. But of course, we're continuing to monitor this developing story. Stay with us on social media, on our website at WLLTV.com, and on television for the latest updates. And it looks like those people that were rescued, we're not able to see them anymore. It looks like they're on that first van that's a little bit farther back behind the shed. But of course, we're going to continue to monitor this, and we're actually going to start heading to the shelter pretty soon to see if we can talk with them about this experience and what they were actually encountering out on that island. Reporting live from Houma, Megan Key, Eyewitness News.
And Megan, I know that we're very grateful that those folks were rescued, but let's talk about what the conditions are like right now, because I think the big headline coming from you right now is the wind, because we keep hearing it hitting your microphone. Can you describe what you're seeing there right now? Have you seen bands of rain at all, or is it really just the wind at this point?
Right now, it's really just the wind. Earlier this morning, we saw a little bit of mist, a little rain here and there, but the wind is really the strong factor when it comes to weather right now. You can just tell by my hair the way my hair is blowing in the wind, and the wind has been so strong that it's actually pushed some of us back. My photographer and myself, my photographer with her camera, it's almost pushed them a little bit. So it's just something we have to be mindful of. We've seen a couple of signs flying. We saw some giant debris flying. And earlier this morning, we saw a massive tree that fell on a home. And I'm talking this tree, the trunk was very wide, and it's a tree that you wouldn't think would fall easily. So it's just showing the strength of the wind that we're seeing. And like Dave said, we're starting to see 70 miles per hour winds, and we're definitely seeing that here in Terrebone Parish and even in Houma in Terrebone Parish.
Megan, thank you so very much. And she told us earlier there's actually 4 people in that home where the big tree fell over, and those 4 people were luckily all safe. But we've got reports of over 30 trees falling down in Terrebone Parish.
A lot of windy conditions.